All right, so are you ready to explore some amazing destinations? We're going to take a deep dive into this list of 15 countries everyone's talking about for 2025.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting is the variety.
Yeah.
It's like you could be looking for adventure, cultural experiences, or just some serious relaxation, and this list has got it all.
I mean, that's what's so exciting about travel, right? It's like there's something out there for everyone.
Absolutely. And what's cool is how you can find those unexpected experiences even in well-known destinations. Like take Japan, most people think, okay, neon lights, Tokyo, right?
Yeah, totally.
But, our sources are pointing to something a little different, rising trend of rural tourism. People are heading to these Satayama villages up in the Japanese Alps.
Satayama. Okay, I'll admit I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique concept. Think of it as these communities that are really in tune with nature, like
Right.
sustainable farming, preserving those old traditions, appeals to the eco-conscious traveler, don't you think?
It does, but are we talking like really rustic here?
Oh, not necessarily. Even in those villages, you can find these really modern twists. Like there are these amazing farm-to-table dining experiences. Some even have Michelin star chefs.
Wow, so it's like getting the best of both worlds. Authentic Japan, but with a touch of luxury.
Exactly. And speaking of contrast, we've got to talk about Tokyo. Have you heard about these digital art museums that are popping up?
Yeah, I've seen pictures online. They look pretty wild.
They're on another level. There's this one, the Mori Building Digital Art Museum. It's totally immersive, uses interactive projections that respond to you as you move around.
So it's like stepping into a painting that comes to life.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
it's amazing.
Okay, but hold on. We can't talk about Japan without mentioning the food. I mean, everyone knows about sushi and ramen, but what's trending for 2025?
Well, street food is huge, especially in Osaka. They have these street food festivals popping up everywhere. It's a chance to try all these regional specialties.
Oh, wow.
You can even catch cooking competitions. If you're a foodie, it's a dream come true.
Okay, Japan's already calling my name, but let's jump to a place that's been on everyone's radar thanks to, well, certain movies. New Zealand. Is it really all about those Lord of the Rings landscapes?
I mean, those landscapes are definitely a draw, but there's this really interesting trend emerging, dark sky tourism.
Dark sky tourism.
Yeah. Apparently, New Zealand's South Islands is like prime real estate for stargazing. No light pollution, super clear night skies. They're even setting up special observatories.
So instead of orcs and hobbits, it's constellations and planets.
Right.
I like it. And I know Queenstown is still the adventure capital, but are there any hidden gems there that are worth checking out?
Oh, for sure. Kawarau Gorge is a must-see, and not just for the bungee jumping.
Right.
It has this incredible suspension bridge you can walk across, take in the views. If you're feeling really brave, there's even a zip line that takes you right through the canyon.
Okay, that sounds pretty epic. Now let's jump across the globe to a place steeped in history. Greece. Are those iconic islands like Mykonos and Santorini still worth all the hype?
They'll always be popular, but there's a definite shift happening in 2025. People are looking for more sustainable travel options.
Yeah.
So less visited islands like Naxos and Milos, they're coming into focus. You still get those incredible beaches and charming villages, but without the crazy crowds.
That makes sense. More of an authentic experience, right?
Exactly. And it's about experiencing that Greek concept of hospitality philoxenia. The locals really embrace visitors.
Oh, yeah.
They're sharing their stories, their food, making you feel like you're more than just a tourist.
Okay, that sounds pretty special. But I know you're a history buff, so what about those ancient sites like Delphi? Any news from there?
Delphi is fascinating because it's not just ruins,
Right.
They've integrated all this modern technology to really enhance the whole visitor experience.
Oh, wow.
They're doing virtual reality reconstructions of the temple, the oracle. They even have interactive exhibits that bring those ancient myths to life. It's pretty wild.
So it's ancient history meets modern technology. That's really cool. Speaking of sensory experiences, our next destination is Morocco. Now, I've heard those markets in Marrakesh can be a little overwhelming.
Oh, they are, but in a good way. In 2025, though, there's a big push towards ethical shopping.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for stalls with the fair trade label. You can find everything from traditional rugs to handcrafted leather goods.
I love that.
And, you're supporting local artisans. And for a truly unique stay, have you ever considered staying in a riad?
A riad. Tell me more.
There are these traditional Moroccan houses, usually with a courtyard in the center. They've been converted into these amazing boutique hotels.
Oh, wow.
It's like stepping into a secret oasis with all the intricate tile work, lush gardens, personalized service. It's incredible.
Okay, that sounds luxurious. But I know you love a good adventure. Is Morocco still the place to go for those desert experiences?
Absolutely. Our sources say luxury desert camps are becoming even more popular in the Sahara. Think glamping tents, gourmet meals under the stars.
Oh, wow.
And they've got activities like camel trekking and stargazing. And for something truly unique, you can spend the night in a Berber village Learn about their culture and traditions firsthand.
I can already picture myself riding a camel under the stars. Okay, but let's head north to a place known for its vast wilderness and scenery, Canada. What's new and exciting there in 2025?
Well, Canada has always been a nature lover's paradise, but now they're focusing on making those experiences accessible to everyone.
I love that.
For example, Banff National Park is introducing wheelchair-accessible trails, and they're even offering adaptive equipment for kayaking and canoeing.
So even if you have mobility challenges, you can still experience the beauty of Banff.
Exactly.
What about wildlife viewing? Any tips for spotting bears or whales?
Well, for bears, head to the Great Bear Rainforest in British Columbia. They're working on responsible wildlife viewing initiatives using local guides,
Okay.
and it's all about protecting the bear's natural habitat. And for whales, the waters off Vancouver Island are a hot spot for orcas, humpbacks. You might even spot some gray whales during migration season.
All right, I'm taking notes. But let's switch gears and head to a country known for its stunning mountains and charming villages. Switzerland. Is it all skiing and chocolate, or is there more to discover?
Switzerland is always coming up with new ways to experience the country. Like they're launching this new chocolate train that takes you on a journey through the Swiss countryside, stopping at chocolate factories and picturesque villages along the way.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. So it's scenic views, chocolate tasting, cultural immersion, what's not to love?
Right.
But Switzerland's also known for its amazing train system. Are there any new routes worth checking out in 2025?
Well, the Glacier Express is a classic.
Yeah.
But there's this new panoramic train route through the Bernese Oberland that's gaining popularity. It takes you past iconic peaks like the Eiger, Munch, and Jungfrau with incredible views of glaciers and waterfalls.
Wow, that sounds like the perfect way to experience the Swiss Alps without breaking a sweat. And speaking of history, our next destination is a place where East meets West, Turkey. What's drawing travelers there in 2025?
Turkey is really showcasing its rich history, and they're doing some really incredible things with historical sites. For example, they just opened a new museum dedicated to the ancient city of Troy.
Oh, wow.
Filled with interactive exhibits and artifacts, it basically tells the whole story of this legendary city.
So it's like stepping into Homer's Iliad, but in real life. That's amazing. What about Istanbul? Is it as bustling and exotic as everyone says?
Oh, Istanbul is definitely a sensory overload, but in the best way possible. But beyond the Grand Bazaar and the Hagia Sophia, you should check out the Balat neighborhood. It's this historic Jewish quarter.
Okay.
It has these colorful buildings, charming cafes, and a really vibrant art scene. It's definitely worth exploring.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list, and I heard there's a special festival happening in Cappadocia in 2025.
Yeah, a hot air balloon festival. Hundreds of balloons taking flight over those incredible rock formations. It's a sight you don't want to miss.
Okay, Turkey is officially on my bucket list, but let's escape to a tropical paradise, Thailand. What's new and exciting there for 2025?
Well, you know, Thailand is famous for its beaches and temples, but there's a real focus on responsible tourism in 2025.
Yeah.
They're promoting these eco-friendly elephant sanctuaries where you can interact with the elephants ethically, you know.
I love that.
No rioting or exploiting them, just respecting animals in their natural habitat.
And what about those incredible islands? Any recommendations for a secluded getaway?
Koh Lanta is off the beaten path. You've got pristine beaches, lush jungles, and it's just got this really laid-back vibe. And for a truly unique stay, check out the overwater bungalows. You basically have direct access to those turquoise waters.
Okay, I'm sold. But let's journey to a land steeped in ancient mystery, Jordan. What adventures await us there in 2025?
Jordan is really investing in making their historical sites more accessible.
Okay.
Like at Petra, they've just unveiled this brand new visitor center. Interactive exhibits, state-of-the-art facilities. And they're even offering these incredible night tours of Petra lit by thousands of candles.
Wow, exploring Petra by candlelight, that would be magical. But what about the Dead Sea? Is it really as unique as they say?
Oh, it's truly an experience. You know, because of the high salt content, you just float effortlessly on the surface.
Right.
And the mud is said to have therapeutic properties. It's like a surreal spa day.
Okay, Jordan is calling my name. But let's indulge in La Dolce Vita and head to Italy. Is it still all about Rome, Florence, and Venice? Or are there some hidden gems we should be exploring in 2025?
Italy is full of hidden gems, especially if you're a foodie.
Okay.
In 2025, culinary tourism is really taking off. Regions like Puglia and Emilia-Romagna are becoming really popular for their unique food experiences.
Okay, so it's all about experiencing authentic Italian cuisine right from the source.
Exactly.
What are some of the culinary experiences you'd recommend?
Well, in Puglia, try the orecchiette pasta, a local specialty shaped like little ears. In Emilia-Romagna, you can't miss the Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese, aged in these traditional cellars. And of course, no trip to Italy is complete without indulging in some gelato.
You're speaking our language now. But Italy's also known for its art and history. Any updates from iconic sites like the Colosseum?
Oh, they're doing something pretty impressive at the Colosseum. They've created this virtual reality experience.
Oh, well.
You can be transported back to ancient Rome, watch gladiatorial combats, chariot races, all as if you were really there.
Wow. History brought to life right before your eyes. Amazing. But let's escape to a country known for its lush rainforests and Pura Vida lifestyle, Costa Rica. What's new and exciting there for 2025?
Costa Rica is really stepping up its sustainability game.
Yeah.
They're actually building this brand new eco-city,
Wow.
powered entirely by renewable energy with sustainable housing, organic farming, and electric transportation.
Wow, a sustainable city in the heart of the rainforest. That's impressive. But I know you're an adrenaline junkie. Are those zip lines through the rainforest still a must-do?
Oh, absolutely. But in 2025, they're taking it to the next level. Get this. They're building the world's longest zip line. Over a mile long, right through the rainforest canopy. And if you're looking for something even more unique, try night ziplining with the rainforest all lit up by fireflies.
Okay, I'm getting butterflies just thinking about that. But let's head south to a land of incredible diversity, South Africa. What adventures are waiting for us there in 2025?
South Africa is really embracing this idea of community-based tourism. It's all about giving travelers a chance to connect with local cultures and support those local businesses.
I love that.
For example, you can stay in township homestays, learn traditional crafts, and taste some truly authentic South African cuisine.
So it's about experiencing South Africa beyond just a typical safari.
Exactly.
What are some specific experiences you'd recommend?
In Cape Town, make sure to visit the Bokop neighborhood. It's famous for those brightly colored houses and has a rich Cape Malay culture. And if you're in Durban, take a cooking class. Learn to make bunny chow, a local favorite.
All right, I'm adding that to my culinary bucket list, but you can't forget about the wildlife. Any updates from Kruger National Park?
Oh, Kruger is still the go-to spot for safaris.
Yeah.
But they're doing some great things with conservation, implementing new initiatives to protect endangered species like rhinos and elephants. And to minimize their impact, they're introducing electric safari vehicles.
It's great they're finding ways to be more sustainable. It's important to experience wildlife responsibly, right?
Absolutely.
But let's journey to a land where nature really takes center stage, Iceland. What's new and exciting there for 2025?
Well, Iceland's getting more and more popular, so they're really focusing on managing tourism sustainably.
Yeah?
They have a new permit system in place for certain attractions like the Blue Lagoon and Singvellir National Park
Okay.
that helps control the crowds and protect those fragile ecosystems.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about the Northern Lights? Are they still as magical as everyone says?
Oh, absolutely. But get this, in 2025, you can experience them from a glass-domed igloo.
Wait, what?
Yeah, imagine lying in bed, looking up at the aurora borealis dancing across the sky.
That would be incredible.
Right.
Okay, Iceland is officially on my list. But let's explore a country that's becoming a global powerhouse, South Korea. What's attracting travelers there in 2025?
South Korea is this fascinating blend of ancient and modern. They're pushing the boundaries when it comes to immersive experiences.
Okay.
For example, they just opened this virtual reality theme park. You can experience everything from K-pop concerts to historical battles.
Wow, that sounds like something out of the future. What about those stunning temples and palaces? Are they still worth visiting?
Oh, definitely. But in 2025, they're offering a new way to experience them. Augmented reality tours.
Okay.
Picture yourself walking through the palace, and your phone or tablet overlays historical figures.
Oh, wow.
You could witness scenes from the past right before your eyes.
That's amazing. So it's like history coming to life. Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. But let's wrap up our whirlwind tour with Vietnam. What adventures await in 2025?
Vietnam is a country of contrasts, from bustling cities to tranquil rice paddies. And they're really embracing their culinary heritage. They're launching this incredible street food festival to showcase the best of Vietnamese cuisine.
So it's a foodie's paradise. What are some dishes you recommend?
Well, you can't miss the pho, the classic Vietnamese noodle soup. And for something more adventurous, try banh mi, a Vietnamese sandwich with a unique blend of flavors.
Okay, my mouth is watering already. But what about those incredible landscapes like Halong Bay? Are they still worth the hype?
Oh, absolutely. But in 2025, they're offering a new way to experience it, from a luxury junk boat.
Oh, nice.
Imagine yourself cruising through those emerald waters, surrounded by towering limestone cliffs. Enjoy gourmet meals and cocktails right on deck.
That sounds amazing. It's like the ultimate way to experience Halong Bay.
It really is, and that's just one of the many incredible things awaiting you in Vietnam.
I mean, we've covered some serious ground today, from bustling cities to those tranquil islands, ancient ruins to breathtaking landscapes. It's amazing.
What's really striking is that each of these countries offers such a unique blend of adventure, culture, and natural beauty.
Yeah, I'm already feeling so inspired to start planning my next adventure.
That's great to hear. That's what we love about these deep dives.
But you know what? We've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore within each of these destinations.
You're absolutely right.
Stay tuned, because in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to go even deeper, exploring all those hidden gems and those off-the-beaten-path experiences you won't find in any guidebook.
That's right.
We'll uncover the local secrets, those cultural nuances and unexpected adventures that'll make your trip truly unforgettable.
So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. Are you ready for more? Because we've got so much more to uncover about these 15 incredible countries.
I know, right? It's amazing how much there is to discover. And what's really striking me is that even if you think you know a place, like Italy, for example, there's always something new to explore.
You got it. It's not just about hitting those iconic sites. It's about digging a little deeper, finding those hidden gems that really speak to you. And that's what we're going to focus on now.
I'm all ears. So beyond the amazing food we talked about, what else makes Italy special for 2025?
Well, we mentioned art and history, right? This might sound a little unusual, but underwater archaeology is becoming a big thing.
Underwater archaeology. Okay, that's new to me.
Yeah, Italy's coastline is full of ancient Roman shipwrecks.
Oh, wow.
And now they have these diving tours where you can explore them. It's pretty amazing.
So it's like history, adventure, and maybe a little bit of Indiana Jones all rolled into one. I'm picturing ancient amphorae and lost treasures.
Exactly. It's like stepping back in time.
I love it. But sticking with Europe for a moment, how about Switzerland? What's beyond those chocolate trains and those picture-perfect views?
Well, Switzerland is really leading the way when it comes to sustainable tourism. Like, they're developing these solar-powered cable cars and energy-efficient mountain huts.
Oh, wow.
There's a growing trend of what they call slow travel, hiking or biking through the Alps, staying in those eco-friendly lodges, really connecting with nature at a slower pace.
I love that idea. It just sounds so peaceful and rejuvenating.
It does, doesn't it? And speaking of rejuvenation, you were really intrigued by Japan earlier. Well, beyond all those high-tech things, there's this whole movement around Shinrin-yoku.
Okay, Shinrin-yoku, I gotta be honest, that one's new to me.
It's basically forest bathing, immersing yourself in nature, using all your senses, kind of soaking up the therapeutic benefits. You can go on these guided walks through bamboo forests, meditate by waterfalls.
That sounds amazing. I could definitely use some forest bathing in my life. It's such a nice contrast to the hustle and bustle of, city life.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance. And speaking of balance, we were talking about Thailand and their commitment to responsible tourism earlier. What else is happening there beyond those ethical elephant sanctuaries?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too, especially when it comes to those island getaways.
Well, Thailand is really focused on community-based tourism now, especially on islands like Koh Yai. Instead of those big mega resorts, you'll find these locally owned guest houses, homestays, restaurants serving traditional food.
So it's about supporting the local communities and getting a more authentic experience, right?
Absolutely. It's a win-win. But I know you love history, so any updates from Jordan beyond Petra?
Yes, tell me more.
Well, Jordan's putting a lot of effort into restoring and promoting some of their lesser-known historical sites.
Okay.
Like Chios. It's an ancient Roman city with unbelievable views of the Sea of Galilee. They're also creating new hiking trails that connect different historical sites so you can really experience the landscape like those ancient traders did.
Wow, a history lesson and a workout. I like it. Speaking of workouts, I'm thinking about New Zealand again. Is it still all bungee jumping and zip lining in Queenstown? Or are there some new adventures to be had?
Oh, Queenstown is always pushing the limits. One thing that's becoming popular is canyon swinging.
Canyon swinging.
Yeah, it's like a giant pendulum swing, but instead of just going back and forth, you get launched out over a canyon.
Oh my goodness, that sounds both terrifying and amazing.
Right. Speaking of pushing limits, we talked about Morocco and those desert camps, but what about exploring those Atlas Mountains?
I was just thinking about that. What kind of adventures are we talking about there?
Well, hiking and trekking are popular, of course, but in 2025, mountain biking is the thing.
Oh, cool.
They're developing some world-class trails through the mountains, incredible views, challenging terrain. It's a whole other way to experience Morocco.
All right, sign me up. But let's shift gears completely. What's happening in Canada beyond those accessible trails and amazing wildlife?
Canada's culinary scene is really exploding right now, especially in cities like Vancouver and Toronto. The focus is on fresh, local ingredients, and chefs are getting really creative with new flavors and techniques.
So it's more than just poutine and maple syrup now.
Oh, for sure. You can find everything from fancy farm-to-table dining to these incredible food trucks with gourmet street food. It's a real melting pot of culinary influences.
Okay, I'm adding Canada to my foodie travel list. But I love those quirky experiences. What about Iceland? Anything offbeat happening there beyond those Northern Lights igloos?
Iceland is all about embracing the unexpected, and you know what's really unique? They're doing this thing called volcanic cuisine.
Volcanic cuisine, what in the world is that?
They actually use geothermal heat to cook food underground. It creates these amazing flavors and textures you won't find anywhere else.
Wow, that's so cool. And talk about sustainable cooking.
Right.
But speaking of sustainability, you mentioned that eco-city in Costa Rica. What other initiatives are they doing to push the boundaries?
Costa Rica is all in on regenerative tourism. It's about going beyond just being sustainable and actually doing things to restore and enhance the environment, like reforestation projects and coral reef restoration. They're even getting tourists involved by offering volunteer opportunities and conservation projects.
So it's about leaving a positive impact, not just minimizing the negative.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Okay, but switching gears again, what's new and exciting in South Africa beyond those community-based experiences, the wildlife conservation?
Well, South Africa's art scene is having a moment right now, especially in cities like Johannesburg and Cape Town.
Okay.
New galleries and museums are popping up everywhere. They're showcasing contemporary African art, host on big international exhibitions. It's pretty exciting.
So it's about more than just the scenery and the wildlife. It's about soaking up that creative energy.
Exactly.
What are some art destinations you'd recommend?
Well, in Johannesburg, check out the Zeitz OCOA. It's the biggest museum of contemporary African art in the world. And if you're in Cape Town, explore the street art scene in Woodstock. It's really vibrant.
Okay, those are going on my list. You know, I love how every destination seems to have its own unique vibe. But speaking of vibes, those augmented reality tours of Korean palaces we talked about, it just blows my mind how they're using technology to bring history to life.
It's incredible, isn't it? Imagine walking through the palace and seeing those historical figures like kings and queens right there in front of you.
It's like you've stepped back in time. I love that.
It's really special.
Okay, but we can't forget about Vietnam. What else is there to experience besides that incredible street food festival and those luxury jump boat cruises?
Vietnam's becoming a real hotspot for adventure tourism, especially in the north. They have new trekking routes through the mountains, kayaking trips down rivers, even motorcycle tours along the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Wow, so it's not just about the cities and beaches, it's about that adventurous side of Vietnam, too.
Exactly.
What adventures would you recommend?
Well, trekking in the Sapa region is a must-do with those incredible views of the rice terraces. If you're looking for a real off-the-beaten-path experience, try kayaking through the Mekong Delta. You'll get to explore the canals and those amazing floating markets.
That sounds incredible. It's amazing how many different experiences we've talked about today. But before we get too carried away dreaming about all these adventures, we need to talk about responsible travel.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about having a good time. It's about making sure we're minimizing our impact and ensuring that tourism benefits the places we visit and the people who live there.
Exactly. So how can we be more responsible travelers in 2025?
It starts with choosing destinations that are committed to sustainability, like Costa Rica or Iceland. Look for places with eco-certifications, support local businesses, and try to minimize your carbon footprint by choosing public transportation or walking whenever you can.
And it's about respecting local cultures and customs, right?
Absolutely. Do some research before you go. Learn a few basic phrases in the local language. Dress appropriately. Remember, you're a guest in someone else's home.
That's such an important point. It's about being mindful and respectful, not just treating it like an Instagram photo shoot.
Exactly. And don't forget about giving back. Think about volunteering or donating to local organizations that are working to protect the environment or supporting the community.
Great advice. You know, it's amazing to see how much thought and effort is going into making travel more sustainable and responsible. But I know you're also passionate about the power of travel to transform us. How can we make the most of our trips, not just in terms of seeing new things, but also in terms of personal growth?
Travel has this amazing ability to push us outside of our comfort zones. You know, it challenges those old assumptions we have and just broadens our perspectives. Embrace those unexpected moments, connect with the locals, try new foods, be open to learning.
So it's not just about checking things off a list, it's about really immersing yourself in the experience and allowing yourself to grow from it.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to disconnect from technology once in a while. Put down your phone, engage with your surroundings, just be present in the moment.
That is such good advice. It's so easy to get caught up in taking photos and posting on social media that we forget to actually experience what's right in front of us.
You got it. And remember, travel is a privilege, not right. So approach it with humility, gratitude, and that sense of wonder.
Beautiful said. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to shift gears for a moment and talk about the journey itself. Because getting there is part of the fun too, right?
Absolutely. And in 2025, there are some really exciting ways to travel that can enhance the whole experience.
Okay, are we talking flying cars, teleportation, supersonic jets.
Not quite yet, but there are some innovative options that are more sustainable, comfortable, and even more immersive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Like what?
Well, high-speed rail is becoming huge, especially in Europe and Asia. Imagine traveling from London to Paris in just over 2 hours, or Tokyo to Osaka in under 3.
Wow. So it's faster than flying, and you don't have to deal with airport security.
Exactly. Plus, it's so much better for the environment than flying. And you get to enjoy the scenery along the way.
Okay, I'm sold on high-speed rail. What about those of us who like a slower pace of travel?
Well, river cruising is making a comeback, especially in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a relaxing way to see multiple destinations, no packing and unpacking your bags every day.
And you get those amazing views, right? Floating down the Rhine or the Danube, passing through those charming towns and vineyards.
You got it. And river cruises are getting even better. You can find themed itineraries, shore excursions that focus on local culture, even onboard lectures and workshops.
That sounds like my kind of trip. But what about those of us who want to get off the grid and explore those more remote destinations?
Adventure travel is definitely booming, and there are some incredible expeditions being offered in 2025. Think trekking through the Himalayas, kayaking in Patagonia, even cycling across the Sahara.
Wow, those sound intense. But what about those of us who want to travel sustainably, even when we're going off the beaten path?
Well, there are some innovative companies doing eco-friendly adventure travel now. Some offer carbon-neutral trekking trips using solar-powered equipment and supporting conservation efforts.
That's great to hear. So it seems like no matter your travel style or budget, there's a way to explore the world responsibly.
Exactly. And with all the advancement in technology, planning and booking your trips has never been easier.
I love how technology is making travel more accessible and customizable. You can really tailor it to your interests and needs.
But you know what? Amidst all the excitement and the convenience, it's important to remember what travel is really about. Connecting with different cultures, trying new things, and broadening those perspectives.
You're so right. It's not just about checking things off a list. It's about immersing ourselves in the journey and letting it change us for the better.
Exactly. So as we keep exploring these incredible destinations, let's keep that in mind. Let's travel with a sense of wonder, a thirst for adventure, and a commitment to responsible exploration.
Beautifully said. You know, speaking of exploration, there's one last thing I want to touch on before we move on to our next segment.
Oh, what's that?
It's the power of storytelling. What's a great trip without a great story to tell when you get back home?
You're absolutely right. Travel is all about creating memories and sharing them with others. And storytelling is how we do that.
Exactly. But in 2025, storytelling's changing. It's not just about posting photos online or writing blog posts. It's about using technology to create those really immersive and engaging narratives.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, think about virtual reality. You could actually create a VR experience that lets your friends and family step into your shoes and experience your trip firsthand.
Wow, that would be amazing. It's like taking them on the journey with you, even if they couldn't physically be there.
Exactly. And then there's augmented reality. You can overlay digital information onto real-world environments.
So let's say you're at a historical site and your phone could show you 3D reconstructions of what it looked like back in the day.
Exactly. You could even record your own audio narration, sharing your personal insights and experiences.
It's like creating your own personalized multimedia travelogue.
And it's a way to preserve those memories in a more vivid and engaging way, too.
I love how technology is enhancing the art of storytelling. It's making it more interactive and accessible.
It is. But beyond all the fancy tech stuff, the most important thing is to capture the heart of your experience. The emotions, the people you met, those unexpected moments that made your trip special.
You got it. It's about those authentic, personal stories that connect with others on a deeper level. It's what makes travel so meaningful.
So as we continue exploring these 15 countries, let's remember the power of storytelling. Capture those memories, share those experiences, and inspire others to embark on their own adventures.
Absolutely. Let's get out there and create some amazing stories.
But speaking of adventures, there's one thing we often overlook when planning a trip, and it can be a real pain.
Uh-oh, what's that?
Packing.
Oh, I know, right? Trying to fit everything you need into a suitcase can be such a struggle, especially if you're trying to pack light.
Exactly. But thankfully, in 2025, technology is making packing way smarter and more efficient.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, first of all, there are smart suitcases now. They can weigh themselves, track their own location, even charge your devices.
Wow. No more lugging a heavy bag around or panicking about losing your suitcase at the airport.
Exactly. And there are apps that can help you create those personalized packing lists based on where you're going, how long you're staying, and what you'll be doing.
So if I told the app I'm going on a Turvey hiking trip in the Himalayas, it would generate a packing list with everything I need, from hiking boots to a first aid kit.
You got it. It even considers the weather and suggests any special gear you might need.
That's incredible. It takes all the guesswork out of packing.
And if you don't want to buy bulky items you'll only use once or twice, there are companies that rent travel gear now.
So I could rent hiking boots, a backpack, even a tent.
Absolutely. It's a great way to save space and money.
I love how technology is making travel more convenient and less stressful.
It really is. But even with all the gadgets and apps, the most important thing is to pack smart and pack light.
True. Choose versatile clothing that you can mix and match, roll your clothes instead of folding them, and only pack the things you absolutely need.
And don't forget to leave some room for souvenirs.
Of course. What's a trip without bringing back a few treasures?
Exactly. So as we continue our deep dive, let's remember that packing doesn't have to be a chore. Embrace the technology, pack smart, and leave room for those unexpected finds.
Absolutely. Speaking of unexpected finds, you know what can really enrich your travel experience?
What's that?
Learning a few basic phrases in the local language.
Oh, that's such a good point. Even if you're not fluent, just making a little effort can go a long way.
Exactly. It shows respect for the local culture. Plus, it can lead to some really cool conversations and connections you might not have had otherwise.
And in 2025, there are some incredible language learning apps that can help you pick up the basics really quickly and easily.
Really? Tell me more.
Well, some apps use artificial intelligence to personalize your learning experience, focusing on the phrases and vocabulary that are most relevant to your trip.
So if I'm going to Italy for a food tour, the app would teach me how to order food, ask for directions to restaurants, things like that.
Exactly. It can even help you with pronunciations, so you sound more like a local. And there are even wearable translation devices now that can translate conversations in real time.
Wow, so I could be talking to someone who speaks a completely different language, and the device would translate our conversation back and forth?
That's right. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But, even without all the fancy technology, just learning a few basic phrases can make a big difference.
It really does. It shows you're making an effort, and it can really open doors to meaningful interactions with local people.
Absolutely. So as we continue exploring, let's make a commitment to learn at least a few basic phrases in the local language of each destination we visit.
I'm in. It's a small step that can make a huge difference in your travel experience.
But speaking of experiences, there's something else that's becoming more and more important these days.
Oh, what's that?
Mindful travels.
Ah, yes. In a world that's always on and connected, it's so important to slow down, be present, and really savor each moment.
Exactly. Mindful travel is all about being intentional with your experiences, focusing on the now and appreciating those little things.
So instead of rushing through a museum, taking a million photos, and checking my phone every 5 seconds, I'm actually slowing down, observing the details, and really taking it all in.
Exactly. It's about connecting with local people on a deeper level, really listening to their stories and learning from their perspectives.
That's beautiful. It's about turning travel into a more meaningful and transformative experience.
Exactly. And it's about paying attention to what's happening in your own body, noticing the sensations of walking through a forest, swimming in the ocean, even just breathing in that fresh air.
I love how mindful travel combines well-being, sustainability, and cultural immersion. It's a win-win-win.
It really is. It's a more holistic way of traveling that benefits us and the places we visit. So as we continue our deep dive, let's make a pact to practice mindful travel. Let's slow down, be present, and really savor the journey.
Beautifully said. Speaking of the journey, there's another thing that can really enhance a trip.
Oh, I'm all ears.
Travel journaling.
Yes, there's something so special about putting pen to paper and capturing those memories, those thoughts and emotions.
It really is. It's a wonderful way to document your adventures, reflect on what you're experiencing, and hold on to those memories.
Exactly. But you know what? In 2025, travel journaling is going beyond just pen and paper.
Oh, tell me more.
There are these awesome digital journaling apps now that let you combine text, photos, videos, even audio recordings. You can create these amazing multimedia travelogues.
Wow, that's like a digital scrapbook of your trip.
Exactly. Some apps even use artificial intelligence to suggest writing prompts and help organize your thoughts.
If I'm struggling to describe that incredible sunset I saw, the app could suggest some prompts or even some poetic language.
You got it. It takes the pressure off and lets you focus on capturing what the experience felt like. It's amazing.
I love how technology is making travel journaling more accessible and fun.
It really is. But even without all the bells and whistles, the most important thing is to find a journaling style that works for you.
Right. Some people love writing super detailed stories, while others just jot down quick observations or sketches.
And some people create collages or mix different media in their journals. It's all about expressing yourself.
I love that. The possibilities are endless.
Exactly. So as we continue exploring, let's all make a commitment to keeping a travel journal. Whether it's a classic notebook or a fancy app, let's document our experiences, reflect on our journeys, and create those lasting records of our adventures.
I'm in. I love that idea. You know, speaking of adventures, there's one thing that often gets overlooked but can really make a difference.
Oh, what's that?
Learning a little bit about the history and culture of your destination before you go. The more you know, the more you'll appreciate what you're seeing.
That's so true. It's like having a secret decoder ring that unlocks all those layers of meaning and connection.
Exactly.
And luckily, in 2025, there are some amazing online resources that make it super easy and fun to learn about different cultures and historical periods.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, you can find virtual museums and historical archives online. You can explore artifacts, read old documents, even see 3D reconstructions of ancient cities.
Wow. It's like traveling back in time from your living room.
Right? And there are tons of online courses and lectures taught by real experts. You can learn about anything from the Roman Empire to ancient Egyptian art to the traditions of Japanese tea ceremony.
So you could be sitting at home sipping tea and learning about tea ceremonies in Japan. That's awesome.
Exactly. And a lot of these resources are really interactive. They use videos, animations, even VR to make it fun and engaging.
That's amazing. It's like having your own personal history and culture tutor.
And don't forget about travel apps. They can give you all sorts of historical and cultural information about the places you're visiting right there on your phone.
So if I was standing in front of the Colosseum, my phone could be telling me about its construction, the gladiatorial combats, the emperors who ruled during that time.
You got it. It's like having a personal tour guide right in your pocket.
Technology is really changing how we learn about history and culture. I love it.
It's pretty amazing. But even without all the tech, there are still so many ways to learn before you go.
Totally. Read books, watch documentaries, visit museums, talk to people who have traveled to the places you're interested in.
And don't forget travel blogs and online forums. You can find tons of tips and insights from fellow travelers.
That's great advice. The more you know going in, the more you'll get out of your trip. It really enriches the whole experience.
Exactly. So as we keep exploring these incredible destinations, let's commit to doing a little homework beforehand. Learning about the history, the culture, it just adds another dimension to the whole journey.
Beautifully said. You know, speaking of adding another dimension, there's something else that can make your travel experience truly unforgettable.
What's that?
Seeking out those local experiences. I mean, the best travel memories often come from those unexpected encounters and those authentic interactions with people who live there.
You're so right. It's about getting off the beaten path, connecting with the locals, and really immersing yourself in the heart and soul of a place.
Exactly.
And thankfully, in 2025, there are more ways than ever to find those hidden gems and connect with local communities.
Aw, how so?
Well, there are websites and apps that connect travelers with local guides, artisans, chefs, people who offer unique experiences and give you a real insider's perspective.
So you could be taking a cooking class with a family in Italy, learning to weave with artisans in Peru, or going on a street food tour with a foodie expert in Vietnam.
Exactly. And you could stay in those locally owned guest houses or homestays. You'll get a much more authentic experience than you would at a big hotel chain.
That's amazing. It's a win-win. Travelers get those unique experiences, and the money goes directly back into the local community.
And you know what else is really cool? There are social impact travel companies popping up that specialize in creating itineraries that benefit local communities and support sustainable development.
So I could go on a trek in Nepal that helps fund education programs for local kids, or volunteer at a wildlife sanctuary in Costa Rica that's protecting endangered animals.
You got it. It's about using travel as a force for good, leaving a positive footprint behind. It makes the whole experience even more meaningful, you know?
I love that. It's about connecting with people, cultures, and places on a deeper level. It's about those memories that stay with you forever and those experiences that make a difference in the world.
Exactly. But before we get too carried away with all the amazing things we can do, we need to talk about something really important: travel safety.
Yes, that's essential. No matter how carefully you plan, unexpected things can happen. It's crucial to be prepared.
So what are some essential travel safety tips for 2025?
Well, it starts with being aware of your surroundings. Do your research before you go, check those travel advisories, and be mindful of potential risks like scams, theft, or even natural disasters.
Right, it's about being smart and taking precautions. Keep your valuables safe, be aware of who's around you, don't walk alone at night, especially in unfamiliar areas.
Exactly. And in 2025, technology can play a big part in keeping us safe.
Oh, how so?
There are personal safety apps now. They can track your location, send alerts to your emergency contacts, even connect you with local authorities if you need help.
Wow. So even if I'm traveling solo or in a remote area, I can have peace of mind knowing that help is just a tap away.
Exactly. And there are these cool travel wallets and pages that block RFID signals, so your credit cards and passport are protected from electronic theft.
That's a great tip. I love how technology is making travel safer and more secure.
It is. But remember, technology is just one part of it. It's also crucial to use common sense, trust your gut, and be prepared for the unexpected.
Exactly. So as we keep exploring these amazing destinations, let's remember that safety comes first.
Absolutely. Let's be informed, aware, and take the necessary steps to ensure a safe and enjoyable trip.
Speaking of enjoyable, there's something else that can give you real peace of mind when you're traveling.
Oh, what's that?
Travel insurance.
Ah, yes. Travel insurance. It's so important, especially these days when unexpected things can happen.
You got it. Flight cancellations, lost luggage, medical emergencies, natural disasters. You never know what might pop up.
True. So how do we choose the right travel insurance? There are so many different options out there. It can be overwhelming.
Well, it starts with thinking about your needs and any potential risks associated with your trip. Are you planning on doing any adventure activities? Are you going somewhere remote with limited medical facilities?
Right. The type of coverage you need will depend on your itinerary and how adventurous you're feeling.
Exactly. And read that fine print carefully. Make sure you understand what's covered and what's not.
So if I'm planning on scuba diving, I need to make sure my policy covers that.
Absolutely. And if you have any pre-existing medical conditions, those need to be covered too.
That's a great point. Travel insurance isn't just about protecting your stuff. It's about protecting your health and well-being too.
Absolutely. And you know what's really interesting? In 2025, there are some new travel insurance options that cover things like pandemics, terrorism, even disruptions caused by climate change.
Wow, it's good to know they're adapting to the changing world and offering more comprehensive protection.
It is. But even with the best insurance, it's still important to take precautions and be prepared for the unexpected.
Absolutely. So as we continue our exploration of these 15 countries, let's remember that travel insurance is a key part of traveling responsibly. It gives you that extra layer of protection and peace of mind.
You got it. Let's protect ourselves, our investments, and our peace of mind so we can focus on enjoying those incredible experiences. Speaking of enjoying experiences, there's something else that can really amplify your travels.
What's that?
Disconnecting from technology.
Ah, yes. Unplugging, recharging, and just being present in the moment. It's more important than ever.
It really is. When you disconnect, you can fully immerse yourself in your surroundings, connect with the people around you, and experience the true essence of travel. It's about escaping that constant barrage of notifications, emails, and social media.
So basically, put down the phone, close the laptop, and just be present in the moment.
Exactly. It's not just about reducing stress and distractions. It's also about opening yourself up to new experiences and connections.
I love that because, let's be honest, when we're glued to our screens, we miss out on the beauty around us, those little moments of human connection and all those unexpected things that make travel so special.
Absolutely. And disconnecting can actually boost your creativity and problem-solving skills too.
Really? How so?
Well, when you're not constantly bombarded with information, your mind has a chance to wander, to make new connections, and to come up with fresh ideas.
That makes sense. It's like giving your brain a break so it can recharge and come back even stronger.
Exactly. So as we continue exploring, let's make a pact to disconnect, even if it's just for a few hours each day. Let's put down those devices, engage our senses, and really experience the world around us.
I'm in. Let's unplug and reconnect with the beauty of travel.
Speaking of beauty, you know what else can make your travels more beautiful?
What's that?
Bringing welcome back to our deep dive into those 15 must-visit countries for 2025.
I know, right? It feels like we've already traveled the world and back just talking about them.
I know. And you know, it's funny. We haven't even touched on some of those classic travel dilemmas.
You mean those questions every traveler faces, right? Like, should I plan everything out or just go with the flow?
Exactly. Or like, how do I make sure I see the iconic sites, but still have time for those off-the-beaten-path adventures? It can be tough to find that balance.
It really can, especially now with how much travel's changing.
Okay, so let's try to tackle some of these dilemmas. First up, to plan or not to plan? That is the question.
The eternal struggle.
I'm a bit of a planner myself. I like having an itinerary, but I also want to be open to those spontaneous moments. What's the best way to find that sweet spot?
Well, it depends. Are you someone who thrives on structure, or do you prefer to just wing it?
That's true. I mean, everyone's different, but even for people who love spontaneity, having a basic plan can be helpful, right? Especially when it comes to flights and accommodations.
Oh, absolutely. Especially now with the focus on sustainability, booking those eco-friendly places in advance not only supports responsible tourism, but you can often get a better price too.
Good point. And if you're going somewhere popular, booking tours and activities ahead of time can save you from those sold-out disappointments.
For sure. But that doesn't mean you have to plan every minute. In fact, some of the best travel memories happen when you're open to those unexpected detours.
Totally agree. So maybe the key is to have a general outline, but leave room for spontaneity. Plan the essentials, but be flexible.
Exactly. Be open to changing things up if a cool opportunity pops up. That's part of the magic of travel.
I love that. Okay, so we've tackled planning now. What about balancing those must-see sites with those more offbeat adventures?
That's a tough one. You don't want to miss the iconic stuff, but you also want to discover those hidden gems that give a place its soul.
Exactly. So how do you find that balance?
I think it's about being really intentional. Do your research, figure out what truly excites you, and don't be afraid to skip some of the super touristy things if they're not your thing.
Right. Sometimes those best travel memories come from those random discoveries, those hidden cafes, local markets, or breathtaking views you just stumble upon, the stuff that's not in the guidebooks.
Absolutely. And sometimes just wandering around and getting a little lost can lead to the coolest discoveries.
So true. Sometimes it's about looking beyond the typical tourist lens, too, you know?
Oh, I like that. Tell me more.
Well, like, take Japan. Everyone wants to see those famous temples and gardens, which are amazing, of course.
Right.
But why not explore their world of craftsmanship? Like, take a workshop and learn calligraphy, pottery, even sword making.
Wow, that's a great idea. You're getting a deeper cultural experience and bringing home a one-of-a-kind souvenir.
Exactly. And you were talking about underwater archaeology in Italy. Instead of just hitting the Colosseum in the Vatican, why not dive into the Mediterranean and explore those ancient Roman shipwrecks?
That sounds incredible. History, adventure, who wouldn't love that?
And what about South Africa? It's known for its incredible wildlife, of course, but you mentioned that the art scene is really taking off.
It is.
So instead of just going on safari, why not check out the street art scene in Johannesburg or visit that Zeitz Mordiweye museum you mentioned?
I love that idea. It's about digging a little deeper, going beyond those typical tourist expectations, and finding those unique experiences that really resonate with you.
And sometimes those hidden gems are closer than we think, like right in our own backyards.
You're talking about rediscovering our own hometowns, right? Exploring our own countries with a fresh perspective.
Exactly. We often overlook the amazing things we have right here at home.
It's so true. So maybe the key to finding those hidden gems, whether they're near or far, is to nurture that curiosity and be open to new experiences, to see everything with a fresh perspective.
You said it. You know, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm realizing that travel is so much more than just ticking off destinations on a bucket list.
It really is. It's about expanding our horizons, connecting with other cultures, challenging our own beliefs, and ultimately growing as people.
Exactly. It's about embracing those unexpected moments, those serendipitous encounters, the things that take our breath away and leave a mark on our souls.
It's about creating memories that will last a lifetime, stories we'll share for years to come, and connections that enrich our lives in ways we can't even imagine.
So as we embark on our 2025 adventures, let's remember that travel is a gift, a privilege, and a chance to learn and grow.
Let's travel responsibly, mindfully, and always with a sense of wonder.
And let's never stop exploring, discovering, and connecting with this amazing world we live in.
Safe travel, everyone.
Until next time, happy adventures.